gathering of the 10 great assassins. Eagle stood in front of the group of 10 great assassins, his sharp eyes scanning each face. The group's headquarters was located in a dense forest, the dim light from torches highlighting his majestic figure. He spoke with a deep and decisive voice, each word carrying the weight of authority. "We will attack the Grey Wolf's headquarters," Eagle declared. "Silverback will lead you to carry out this plan. Our goal is to defeat Roy's One Eye. He is the shield protecting the Grey Wolf gang. But remember, do not massacre those who surrender. Only kill those who oppose." Silverback, with his black suit and mysterious mask, stepped forward. His gaze was cold and determined, but behind it was an unshakable confidence. Eagle turned to Silverback and said, "Silverback, this is your chance to prove your bravery and leadership. I have confidence in your abilities." Silverback nodded, his eyes sparkling with determination. "I won't disappoint you, boss." Eagle began to describe the attack plan in detail. "After obtaining intelligence on the structure of the Grey Wolf's headquarters, we will divide into 3 groups. The first group, led by Silverback, will attack from the front. The second group, led by Lionheart, will attack from the left side. The third group, led by Panthera, will attack from the right side, and Wolfbane will stay to protect the rear and prevent any enemies from escaping." Eagle continued, "Hawkeye and Tigerclaw, you will use chains to create chaos and break down their defenses. Scorpio and Bearclaw, you will use clubs and spears to destroy enemies from afar. Falcon will use his crossbow to shoot down the guards on the watchtowers." Eagle paused for a moment to look at each face, making sure everyone understood the plan. "I repeat once again, remember carefully, we must not massacre those who surrender. Only kill those who oppose. The most important goal is to defeat Roy's One Eye. Don't underestimate One Eye, he is not inferior to Silverback." Silverback looked at the group members, feeling the excitement and readiness in each look. He knew that this was not just a mission, but also an opportunity to prove his leadership and strength. "Everyone get ready," Silverback ordered. "We will not fail." The approach. As night fell, the 10 great assassins headed towards the Grey Wolf's headquarters. The silence in the jungle was broken only by the sound of their gentle footsteps. Moonlight shone through the leaves, creating long shadows on the ground. Each member of the group knew that tonight would be a decisive night, a night where they would carve their names into history with a glorious victory. The group moved with the precision and silence of seasoned predators. Silverback led the way, his senses heightened, and his mind focused on the task ahead. The Grey Wolf's headquarters was a formidable fortress, but they had the element of surprise on their side. The first assault. As they reached the outskirts of the Grey Wolf's headquarters, Silverback signaled for the groups to take their positions. The first group, led by Silverback, approached the main gate. The guards were unaware of the impending attack, their vigilance dulled by routine. "Falcon, take out the watchtowers," Silverback whispered into the communication device. Falcon nodded, his crossbow already aimed. With swift precision, he released a series of bolts, each one finding its mark and silencing the guards on the watchtowers. "Move in," Silverback ordered. The first group advanced, their movements synchronized. Silverback's team hit the front gate with ferocious efficiency. Hawkeye and Tigerclaw's chains whirled through the air, breaking down the wooden barrier and creating chaos among the guards. The sound of clashing metal and cries of alarm echoed through the night. Flanking maneuvers. On the left side, Lionheart's team engaged the enemy with equal ferocity. Lionheart's twin sabers flashed in the moonlight as he cut through the defenders. Panthera's team approached from the right, his sword a blur as he dispatched the guards with lethal grace. The coordinated assault was overwhelming. The Grey Wolf's forces, caught off guard, struggled to mount an effective defense. Scorpio and Bearclaw used their clubs and spears to great effect, taking down enemies from a distance and creating a path for the others to advance. Wolfbane, stationed at the rear, ensured that no enemy could escape. His presence was a deterrent, his reputation as a ruthless fighter enough to keep anyone from attempting to flee. The Silent Night. The attack of the 10 great assassins on the headquarters of the Grey Wolf gang took place under the dim moonlight, creating a scene full of danger and mystery. The Grey Wolf headquarters was filled with an unusual silence. before being broken by screams and the clash of weapons. More than 200 members of the Grey Wolves were ready, but they could not withstand the sudden and ruthless attack of the 10 great assassins and Silverback. Fire and smoke rose from the burned buildings, but nothing could dampen the 10 great assassins' fighting spirit. They entered the heart of the headquarters, overcoming all defenses like an unstoppable whirlwind, penetrating the inner defenses. With the outer defenses breached, the 10 great assassins pushed deeper into the headquarters. Silverback led the charge, his movements a blur of deadly efficiency. The Grey Wolf gang members, though numerous, were no match for the skill and precision of the assassins. The interior of the Grey Wolf's headquarters was a labyrinth of corridors and rooms. Silverback's team moved with purpose, cutting down any resistance they encountered. Their goal was clear: find and defeat Roy's One Eye. The confrontation with Roy's One-Eye Jackal, with his sharp eyes and smirk, was the first to approach Roy's One Eye. He quickly launched deadly iron cards towards Roy's One Eye. The cards flew like lightning, creating a storm of iron and steel. The members of the Grey Wolf gang did not have time to dodge and were immediately defeated. But Roy's One Eye, with his experience and agility, dodged all of Jackal's attacks with ease. Amidst the chaotic scene, a dark shadow appeared behind Jackal. The deep and cold voice said, "Leave him to me. Go and do your work." Jackal looked back, realized Silverback had arrived, and understood that he had to continue on another mission. Without saying a word, Jackal stepped back and made way for Silverback. The confrontation begins. Silverback looked at Roy's One Eye with cold eyes. Roy's One Eye responded with challenging eyes. Roy's One Eye was the first to speak, his voice sounding like thunder. "Who are you? Why did you attack our headquarters?" Silverback replied, his voice no less majestic, "I am Silverback. My purpose here is to destroy you." Having said that, Silverback rushed forward like a storm towards Roy's One Eye. Not to be outdone, Roy's One Eye also ran towards Silverback, his legs strong and determined. The two unleashed thunderous punches, colliding with each other with terrifying force. The initial clash, Silverback and Roy's One Eye's powerful punches simultaneously hit the target, the force of the punch slightly injuring both of them. Silverback felt sore all over. For the first time, he met an equal opponent. Roy's One Eye also felt pain in his chest, but neither backed down. Both still stood firm, their eyes fiery and determined. Silverback turned around and launched a powerful kick towards Roy's One Eye's left side. Roy's One Eye raised his left hand to block, but immediately, Silverback launched a right kick. Roy's One Eye raised his right hand to block this kick. Fast as lightning, Roy's One Eye threw an uppercut into Silverback's jaw. Silverback stepped back to avoid the punch, but Roy's One Eye did not lose the opportunity and continued to attack. The ferocious exchange, Roy's One Eye charged in with fast and powerful punches, using both fists and elbows to attack. Silverback dodged and counterattacked with powerful punches, his flexible legs launching kicks into Roy's One Eye's stomach and legs. The two fought fiercely, neither one willing to give in. Silverback crouched, using his knee to attack Roy's One Eye's ribs, but Roy's One Eye quickly turned around, avoided the attack, and responded with a kick to Silverback's chest. The powerful kick made Silverback step back, but he quickly regained his balance and continued the fight. An intense struggle. The confrontation between Silverback and Roy's One Eye became increasingly fierce. Powerful punches, kicks, and attacks were continuously launched, neither willing to give way. Silverback used all his skills and strength to confront Roy's One Eye, while Roy's One Eye was no less competitive, proving to be a formidable opponent. In a moment, Silverback rushed forward at lightning speed, using a powerful fist to attack Roy's One Eye's face. Roy's One Eye backed away, but Silverback did not stop, continuing to attack with a series of consecutive punches and kicks. Roy's One Eye used every skill to defend and counterattack, and the two continued to fight without stopping. The battle heats up. The fight between Silverback and Roy's One Eye was an action-packed and dramatic battle. Both were strong warriors, neither willing to be outdone. Powerful punches, kicks, and strikes rang out in the air, creating an astonishing and powerful scene. This battle was not just a confrontation between two people, but also a battle of will and strength, a battle in which only the strongest could stand. The two combatants circled each other, sweat glistening on their foreheads. Their breaths were heavy, but their eyes never wavered from their opponent. Silverback knew he had to find a way to break Roy's One-Eye's defenses and end this fight. Finding an opening, Silverback feinted a punch to Roy's One-Eye's left side, then swiftly pivoted to deliver a spinning back kick to his opponent's right flank. The move caught Roy's One-Eye off guard, the impact making him stagger. Sensing a possible opening, Silverback pressed the attack, launching a flurry of punches aimed at Roy's One-Eye's torso and head. Roy's One-Eye, despite being momentarily disoriented, regained his composure and countered with a powerful elbow strike to Silverback's shoulder, forcing him to retreat. Both warriors paused for a brief moment, assessing each other. The intensity of their gazes spoke volumes about their determination. The climactic moment, with a roar, Silverback lunged forward, his fists like hammers. He aimed a barrage of strikes at Roy's One-Eye, who parried and blocked with equal ferocity. The air was thick with the sounds of their impacts, each blow resounding like thunder. Silverback unleashed a rapid combination, a left hook, a right cross, followed by a knee strike. Roy's One-Eye blocked the punches but couldn't fully avoid the knee, which struck him in the ribs. He grunted in pain, but retaliated with a swift headbutt that caught Silverback off guard, causing him to reel backward. The exhaustion of Roy's One-Eye. After an hour of fighting, Roy's One-Eye seemed to be tired. His punches, kicks, and other moves were no longer as flexible as before. He retreated, focusing on defense, unable to continue attacking. Meanwhile, Silverback still attacked ferociously like a tiger. He launched a kick from above to Roy's One-Eye's head, but Roy stepped back to dodge. Without hesitation, Silverback continued to throw many punches at Roy's One-Eye's face and ribs, forcing him to heavily dodge. Suddenly, Roy's One-Eye spoke, his voice full of fatigue and helplessness. "Wait, I've been fighting with you for over an hour. It's impossible. It's impossible. Aren't you tired? I've been fighting for more than 20 years and haven't met anyone like you. The more you fight, the harder you hit. If we both fight to the death, maybe." Saying this, Roy's One-Eye fell silent and quietly left with his body bearing many wounds. Silverback paused, thinking about what Roy's One-Eye had just said. He didn't understand why the more he fought, the more enthusiastic he became, and he didn't feel tired at all. The gathering of the 10 great assassins. In a moment, the 10 great assassins had gathered. Lionheart spoke. "We successfully destroyed the Grey Wolf Gang's headquarters. But why did you let him go?" Silverback just coldly replied, "Boss just asked me to destroy him. Not to say kill him. Let's go back to headquarters." Lionheart stammered, speechless at Silverback's words, his eyes filled with surprise and amazement. Silverback looked back at the headquarters of the Grey Wolf Gang, now a pile of ruins and ashes. The fires were still burning, black smoke covered everywhere. But Silverback no longer cared. His mission was completed. He turned and led the 10 great assassins to leave, leaving behind a battlefield full of blood and tears. Reflecting on the battle. On the way back, Silverback continued to think about the fight with Roy's One-Eye. Why wasn't he tired? Why did he fight harder and harder? These questions were still lingering in his mind, unanswered. But one thing he knew for sure, he was not a normal person. That made him even more determined to learn and discover himself. The journey back to their headquarters was filled with a mixture of triumph and contemplation. Each member of the 10 great assassins was deep in thought, processing the events of the night and the profound implications of their victory. The report. After returning to the headquarters of the 10 great assassins, Lionheart immediately entered Eagle's room to report on the battle. Eagle was sitting in a large chair, his cold and majestic eyes staring at the map on the table. Lionheart stood in front of Eagle, bowed respectfully, and began to present. "Boss, we successfully destroyed the headquarters of the Grey Wolf Gang. However, Silverback did not kill Roy's One-Eye. He only defeated him and let him leave." Eagle nodded, closed his eyes, and listened to Lionheart's every word. When Lionheart finished speaking, Eagle opened his eyes thoughtful and deep. He said in a low voice, "Silverback is not wrong. I told Silverback to destroy him, but I did not tell Silverback to kill him at any cost. I just wanted to create panic and crisis." Eagle's vision, Lionheart was briefly surprised, but then he understood what Eagle meant. Their boss was not someone who only knew how to use violence and massacre. Eagle was a visionary and always knew how to consider every situation. Eagle continued, "Roy's one eye is a strong and intelligent person. Letting him survive may benefit us in the future. Furthermore, Silverback's show of mercy is also a point of strength, not weakness. It shows he can think deeply and is not carried away by rage or bloodlust." Lionheart nodded, agreeing with Eagle's words. He knew that Silverback's decision was not due to weakness or fear, but a subtle and cunning tactic. With Eagle's leadership and Silverback's strength, the 10 great assassins would go even further. Preparing for the future, Eagle stood up, went to the window, and looked out. Darkness covered their headquarters, but the light from within was still bright. He turned to look at Lionheart, his eyes bright and determined. "Prepare for the next mission. We will not stop here. This world has many enemies and we will continue to hunt them down." Lionheart bowed his head and left the room, carrying with him his determination and admiration for Eagle and Silverback. The war had just begun, and they would not stop until they achieved their ultimate goal. The planning room. Lionheart headed straight to the planning room, where the other members of the 10 great assassins were gathered. The room was filled with maps, weapons, and strategic plans. The atmosphere was intense but focused, each member aware of their role and ready to act. Silverback was already there, discussing with Panthera and Wolfbane the possible scenarios for their next mission. When Lionheart entered, they paused and turned to him. "Eagle has instructed us to prepare for the next mission," Lionheart announced. "We need to be ready for anything." Silverback nodded, his eyes sharp and calculating. "We've made a significant impact by taking down the Grey Wolf gang, but we can't let our guard down. We need to stay ahead of our enemies." News spreads like wildfire. News of the sudden and devastating attack by the 10 great assassins and Silverback on the headquarters of the Grey Wolf gang spread like wildfire. In just one night, every dark corner and alley in the city was filled with gossip, anxiety, and panic. The Grey Wolf gang, with more than 200 strong members, was mercilessly defeated, leaving behind a scene of destruction and pain. Other gangs, from small organizations to powerful factions, all felt a cold breeze running down their spines. They knew that once the 10 great assassins struck, nothing could stop them. Silverback's strength and the ruthlessness of the assassins in the group made them feel more insecure than ever. The Red Lion Gang. In a dark bar, where the Red Lion Gang often gathered, anxious whispers rang out. "Have we heard anything?" The Grey Wolf Gang was wiped out overnight. "Silverback, he's truly a monster. How can we fight him? Are we going to be the next target? No, we have to do something before they arrive." The Red Lion Gang members exchanged fearful glances. Their leader, a burly man named Draven, slammed his fist on the table, silencing the room. "We can't let fear paralyze us," Draven growled. "We need to fortify our defenses and gather intelligence. Find out their weaknesses. We must be ready." The White Tiger Gang. At a base of the White Tiger Gang, the atmosphere was tense. Their leader, a man named Mima, was discussing with key members. "We can't sit around waiting to die. We have to find a way to protect our base and our people. The 10 great assassins are not easy enemies to deal with. We have Tiga, one of the 4 heroes. He can fend off Silverback, but unfortunately he's in prison." One of Mema's advisors, a shrewd woman named Hana, suggested, "We should find a way to ally with other gangs. Only then can we hope to fight them." Mema nodded thoughtfully. "Begin negotiations. Offer whatever we need to secure their cooperation. We must present a united front against the 10 great assassins. The underworld on high alert." Meanwhile, other underworld rulers were also on high alert. Gangs began to strengthen their defenses, increase their forces, and prepare for the worst situations. They knew that not only Silverback, but also the 10 great assassins were people who could not be underestimated. In a hidden meeting room, representatives from several smaller gangs gathered to discuss their survival. "The 10 great assassins will come for us all eventually," one leader said. "We need to pool our resources and create a network of information and mutual defense." "Agreed," another replied. "Alone, we are easy targets. Together, we stand a chance." Eagle's strategy. At the headquarters of the 10 Great Assassins, Eagle knew the impact of the attack. He sat in the conference room, looking over reports of other gangs' reactions, his eyes sharp and keen. He smiled gently, knowing that panic and fear were to their advantage. We have sown fear, anxiety, and crisis. That's exactly what we need, Eagle told his members. Continue to prepare for the next missions. This is just the beginning. Lionheart, Panthera, Cobra, Wolfbane, and the other assassins all felt determination and strength in the air. They knew that under Eagle's leadership and Silverback's power, nothing could stop them from conquering the underworld.